Greenville City Council will come to order. Please call the roll.
Schmidt.
Here.
Whitaker.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Ewing.
Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ewing. Yes. Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes. And next, moving on to public hearing section. Anyone would like to come before the council, come up to the podium, state your name.
My name is Paul Fellers at 215 Wayne Avenue. We have a water issue when it rains. You go out to your car, you step in water every time. Since they put the new street in, I've been talking to Ryan. I talked to the city just a few minutes ago. They said they're coming sometime in September. I mean, I want to make sure it gets done before the winter, because we have a big issue down there.
Ryan, you know exactly what we're doing there. Can you talk through that?
Yeah, so when Walls paved it last year, they left it high at some catch basins, so we've contacted them, and when they come in to do the paving this year, they'll be grinding that area back down. They use what they call a scarifier to make it so the water runs to the drain properly.
Okay. And that'll be when?
Mid to late September.
Okay. So a month and a half. So,
Sounds good.
so don't rain.
Yeah, don't
Next
worry.
month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, I just have people give me their concerns. The one
Can
concern.
you pull that down just a little bit? I'm afraid they won't be able to hear you.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. The one concern was the lady who lives on 4th Street said nothing was done about that empty building that had a fire there, and it looks pretty bad when you walk down the street. She just would like to have some newspapers or something put over those windows because it really looks tacky. She came up here one night
Yep.
and did talk about it, and she says that she doesn't think anything has been done yet. Number 2, people have asked me when it was mentioned that you were going to raise the water rates. Here's the question, and I didn't even know how to answer this. Why don't we get a credit? Because I don't even use the minimum, and there's a lot of people, single people, that doesn't use the minimum. Why don't we get a water credit like you do on your electric and your gas? I couldn't give them an answer because I don't know myself. I always pay that same amount even though I don't use it. So could somebody explain to me so I can explain to them why we don't get a credit for the water we don't use?
Ryan, you want it, or you want me to take it? Okay. So, and help me out if I'm wrong, and I know we have our water superintendent here, but it's for all the infrastructure. It's the upkeep on those pipes that run underground, treating the water, whether you use it or not, it has to be on demand if you do use it. So it's covers all that fixed cost.
Okay.
Whether you use it or not, we still have all those employees there that has to treat it, et cetera.
Okay, so if the rates go up, we still won't get a credit though, even though what we've been paying has for the infrastructure. The other thing they brought up to me was, what about the water tower? When they raised the rates before, they said it was going to be for a new water tower. Then you got a grant because I saw the article in the Early Bird. And so then when I brought that up to somebody's attention. Then they said it was for the underground piping, wasn't for the water tower. And somebody asked me just the other day, when are we getting the water tower that they asked about when they raised our rates before? So there's a question that's.
Yeah, so the rates are not going up till March of 2024. It's going up 5%, even though our chemical costs are like 20%, even some of it even higher. And then as far as the water tower, I'll lean on Ryan for that.
So water tower is not a grant, water tower is a loan, so we have to pay that back.
Okay, the article in the early bird then was
The
not,
water main is a grant, we have a partial
water main
grant.
was a grant, but the water tower was
Water
not.
tower is a loan, so we're in the design phase right now, and then
Okay, so
we're gonna
that's
have
why it's
to
not in bill.
pay that loan back. And then the grant portion, like, for example, like the 502 water main portion, you know, originally when we received the grant, it was right around COVID, right before COVID, I believe. We received $1.4 million. They estimated the job to be about 1.8 million. Well, then inflation took off and the project's gonna be 3.2 million, and we only received a grant for 1.4, so we still have to pay for all that
I see.
extra.
Okay, so hopefully they're listening and they got an answer to that. And my third thing is, and I don't know if I should direct this to the city, school, or the park. I went down Saturday, they had that cross-country event in the city, and that brought in numbers and numbers of people. And one problem, which I'll probably talk about it at the park board meeting, they blocked off over there by the roundhouse. And people kept coming down there, turning around. They couldn't find any place to park. They were parking, that all the parking around there was already parked up. And I watched vehicle after vehicle turn around because they couldn't get to the parking lot by the band shelter. They had to go down Avenue F, then down, and if they didn't know it, I was trying to guide people to get to parking. But the one issue that I saw, and I'm wondering if it can be done a little different next year, I saw quite a few elderly people getting out of their cars and walking over to the swinging bridge. Why can't we have some kind of a transit bus to transport those people, to pick them up and drop them off at the swinging bridge? Because it was hot, they were struggling to get there in time. To me, it would just be a wonderful service to provide for those people and for anybody. I mean, if they want to give you a tip or you want to charge money, but why can't we have just a bus for a short number of hours? Because that thing's done by 2. By 2 o'clock, you don't even know there's anybody there. But, there was just so many people down there, and they were just rushing to get over to that bridge. So if the city or the park or who's ever in charge of that I thought about next year, I'll drive my car down there and I'll just take people over to the bridge, because one lady goes, is there anything? And I said, no, not that I am aware of. A golf cart would even work. They did it at the fair. So would that be a consideration, and who would address that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, we've got plenty of parking spot lots, throughout the city that we could possibly do. So maybe Ryan, get with transit, get with school, get with.
I would think school, I mean, they have those buses, they would be better equipped for something like that, and it's their event, we just
Yeah.
help
Yep.
them
Okay.
put it on.
So do I have to go to a school board meeting and address it, or can somebody else address it?
I can pass it along.
You would please?
Yes.
Okay, because I just think it would be a great service, and I know a lot of our elderly senior citizens were probably there to watch a grandchild run, and they were struggling with the heat, and also, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, it's a great event. I forget how many thousands of people that brings in. I was somewhere on the south end getting a bite to eat that day, and there was people that were, Wagner Avenue was so busy, they were coming south to find a place to eat. So, yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Hi, Tim Gilbert, 730 Birchwood. That all the information you
Yep.
need? Okay, thank
You
you.
don't have to state your address if you don't want to.
Sorry,
Oh, you're
I haven't
good.
been here for a while, but I was roaming around town on my golf cart in case you need one near the park. But and I pick up old people that are struggling when I see them too. I don't know if that's legal, but I do it. The question I had was roaming around back and forth to the fair during the fair time. I noticed the place across from the Montessori school that burned down last year and was a big thing. And I noticed that it was an old building, steel frame and wood frame as well. The wood's totally charred and burned. The steel structure is pretty compromised. And I read at that time where I thought there would be some demolition of that structure before they rebuilt. And instead I've found that somebody's putting a roof on the thing over top of the compromised steel structure by the fire, and the old burned charred wood is not removed either. So I was just wanting to mention that during here, whichever person here is in that district or over that area.
Yep.
And who should I ask about that kind of a thing?
So I know, Ryan, that gentleman's came in and talked to the mayor and you want to talk a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, and the structure itself is through the Dark County Building Department, so we don't issue the permits. I was told they were giving a stop work order on the work that they had done to this point, but that's all through the county. Like the city doesn't get to say
So
what,
that's a county jurisdiction on
building.
that particular building?
just a building in general.
Is that because it's by the railroad there?
No, any building permit in the city is handled by the county building department.
Okay.
Like we do zoning and different things like that, but when it comes to the actual structure itself, they have, the architectural engineers and those type of people to
Thank you.
manage that. Yep,
Thank you. Ryan.
absolutely.
I'll try to contact them and just address the fact that I see new construction going on top of old stuff, that's been on fire. So
Right.
see what they say about it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, move on to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. I have a few things that happened and are coming up. First, let you know, we are working on the Veterans Day Parade coming up, and they'll be setting up in the little Marshall's lot, and appreciate your help on that. Coming up, of course, that's 11/11/11. That's November 11th on the 11th hour, so we have a speaker coming in. They'll be at the courthouse. There's a veteran Navy lady that is a real good speaker, and I really can't tell you what she does, but I think she's out, but she does reserve, I think, but she's teaches, does consulting, that type of thing. So it's just going to be an interesting time. I've heard several people say that they've heard her talk, and so she agreed to come this year for us, Dr. Dana Street. So that'll be interesting. So I'll continue to work on that. United Way kickoff luncheon is tomorrow, and there's a golf tournament coming up, but United Way is doing well, and we'll have our campaign here in the city soon. Maybe you've gotten the information or not, I'm not sure, but for all the employees. So that's coming up soon, and don't forget that this weekend is the full cruise-in downtown. A lot of cars going on down there, so that'll be fun, get outside. And one other thing is there was a concert in the park, what do they call that? The red, white, and blue concert, and was it Shannon and the Sugars? Something like that was singing. It was a pretty good concert. We could hear a little bit of it. I didn't get to go, but it was fun. There's a lot of people downtown for First Friday. It went well. A lot of people downtown and business were open. So then one other thing is we were privileged enough again this year to have the state horseshoe tournament in Greenville. Sometimes it kind of goes by and people don't realize it, but a good friend of mine, Jim McCombs, has done a lot to bring the horseshoe events, this particular state tournaments and even the world tournaments in the past, and we'll be working on that again. We have great quotes of people love to come to our park and with their families and kids, and that's why they keep coming back to Greenville, because it's a great place for them to have some fun, and have a nice weekend for their families. So it was a big tournament. It was nice to have them here. So I was able to go there and I gave Jim a certificate appreciation for all the work he's done to bring the horseshoe tournaments to Greenville. So it was nice. It was fun to see those guys. The president of the association is like, throws like 90% horseshoes. And then the winner for the last 12 years, or it's longer than that, maybe 20 some years, is some guy, Alan, now I'm going to forget his name. He throws in the 90s every day, and he's won the state and the world horseshoe tournaments the last at least 8 years in a row. He's an incredible person, and it's fun to watch. So that's all I got. I'll pass. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Delk, Safe Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few things for this evening. First is we had a meeting with Brightspeed last week, who is formerly CenturyLink. They are now wanting to do fiber to home within the city of Greenville as well. The fortunate part is they want to do 75% aerial, so hang on existing poles, but they do want to do 25% underground. We haven't gotten all the details on it yet, but there will be a third fiber option in the city probably next year. They have a very aggressive timeline as well. So I will update as I receive information, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up of what was happening. Second thing, tomorrow, Wednesday, today's Tuesday already, Wednesday, tomorrow is our pre-construction meeting on our 502 project. So we'll meet with the contractors on that and get a game plan together for the 502 water transmission line. And then I'll report back next council meeting. The plan still is to start that first Monday in October. And then I'll get some better timelines on how that project is going to go and the headaches that are going to come along with it. But we're going to get through it. North Ohio Street, we are still waiting on our traffic poles. As of last week, they were supposed to be in and they have not arrived yet. I have not gotten word this week, but so as soon as those get in, then we'll get those installed and we can wrap that project up. And then last week, we were awarded $1 million from Small Cities Grants for the Schweitzer Street project, which is not construction until state fiscal year 2028. So it could fall in our 2027 timeframe. So if you recall, we received $3.8 million from safety grants a few months ago. This is another $1 million on top of that. So we're at $4.8 million and we need to come up with $8.1 million. So still work in progress. We're getting closer.
Are we getting it faster than inflation? Or?
I hope so. I hope so. And then just to make everyone aware, October 20th through the 22nd, the Boy Scouts are bringing back the park Boy Scout camporee. It's going to take place in the park, so they will camp on the Memorial Hillside. We've been having some meetings with the troop leader that's putting it together, and Chief Thompson is actually putting together a mock accident for them to go out and be a part of. So that'll be going on there that weekend in October. And
on the Masonic Lodge side?
Masonic Lodge side is where the camporee is going to take place. The mock accident will take place. We're looking at kind of the intersection by Juvenile Court behind the Garst Museum, that area, because we're trying to bring care flight into land, and the safest place for them to land is in Garst Museum's backyard.
What is the date again?
October 20th, 21st, and 22nd, and the mock accident will be on the 21st.
So it's a weekend.
They'll come Friday afternoon. Their big day is Saturday, and then they pack up Sunday morning and head out. And other than that, I'll answer any questions, but I will pass.
Ryan, I noticed I was doing some work down there on the property there by the city garage. Can you tell me what's going on there for sure?
Yep. So that's that property that we purchased last year, I think it was. So that'll be a storage building for storm equipment, sweeper, limb loader, leaf truck, anything that's owned by Storm to get it all indoors and not have to sit outside and sit around.
How wide is that grassy patch on Ohio Street? It looks like it'd be a pain to mow. I drove past it.
I think it's 3 foot. Yeah. Well, the plan is to plant some trees down through there too to dress it up a little.
Look nice.
Any other questions? All right, we'll move on to the law director, Mr. Reaman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just touching on one piece of legislation. You've probably been following along, 724 Martin Street. The city has owned for a while, kind of going through options. We did put that up for bid. You voted on that, and we got bids back, and we were able to get $20,000 for our lovely home. So this is to accept that bid tonight, and no longer, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So with that, I'll take any questions anybody has.
You need to add that, or is that on?
It's on there.
Okay. Any questions for law director?
Are we ahead on that or?
We got it for free, so.
Oh, okay. Deal.
All right, move on to city auditor, Ms. Woolman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just wanted to let you know that we notified the department heads today that their final budget submissions are due the 1st of October. So we are starting down the road to our final 2024 budget. So hopefully we'll have that ready to go. I don't know if that's going to happen in December or January. And if it happens in January, you have a good time doing it. I won't be here. Thanks so much.
Sure you don't want to do it one more time?
She says with
I will
such,
if I can.
Do it in December.
We're looking forward to it.
Kim's appreciative of that.
Do it in December so you won't miss out.
All right, moving on to committee reports. We have none, right? Is there a need for an extension on that curb?
Yes.
When was that due?
I think it's the 19th or something like that.
Okay, let's move that to the second meeting in October, so the 17th.
Because I think we have a meeting on what, the 30th. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll try to attend that. I apologize, I couldn't.
it's in my calendar.
Okay.
I was on the ad hoc committee for the Korea replacement. I haven't received anything on that.
Okay, do we need to have that? Do we need to, I know we talked about moving that up to try to get it done. Or is there a unit?
We can just schedule a meeting and discuss it.
Okay,
Be up to the chair of the ad hoc committee.
yeah, just schedule a meeting.
Okay,
Yep, I think the sooner the better on
it'll
that.
have to be in the evening.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right, moving on to ordinance resolution. The first resolution, accepting amounts and rates determined by budget commission and certifying them to be to the county auditor.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. This resolution accepts the amounts and rates for the tax budget for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2024, as established by the Dark County Budget Commission.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution a second, third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Schmidt to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll?
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
yes,
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes,
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
move to adopt the resolution.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll?
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
yes,
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes,
Okay, moving on, we have a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. The supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the Capital Improvement Plan Fund and the sum as follows. Roadway Enhancement CIP in the amount of $141,975.09. These funds are needed for the North Ohio Street Construction Project and were provided for by an Ohio Public Works grant.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a resolution accepting Scott Sassney's bid for 724 Martin Street.
A resolution accepting Scott Stastny's bid for municipal land at 724 Martin Street. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to accept Scott Stastny's bid in the amount of $20,000 for the property located at 724 Martin Street, Greenville, Ohio.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution accepting Scott Stastny's bid for municipal land at 724 Martin Street. A resolution accepting Scott Stastny's bid for municipal land at 724 Martin Street.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a resolution accepting American Decorative Concrete LTD for sidewalk project phase 1.
A resolution accepting America's Decorative Concrete LTD bid for sidewalk project phase 1. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to accept America's Decorative Concrete bid in the amount of $545,077 for the sidewalk project phase 1.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
A resolution accepting America's Decorative Concrete LTD bid for sidewalk project phase 1. A resolution accepting America's Decorative Concrete LTD bid for sidewalk project phase 1.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion.
Yeah, was this under what the estimate was?
No, it's a little,
A little over?
yeah, I think it's like 15,000.
Thank you.
Percentage wise, that's a very small percentage, right?
In the grand scheme, yes.
Yeah, so what, 2%, 1%? What was the total?
By 45.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a ordinance ratifying and approving the starting vacation provided to Craig Francis, and this has an emergency clause.
An ordinance ratifying and approving the starting vacation provided to Craig Francis and declaring an emergency. This ordinance ratifies and approves the vacation leave in the amount of 40 hours to Craig Francis in 2023. This ordinance has an emergency clause.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Moved by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second and third reading by title only. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance ratifying and approving the starting vacation provided to Craig Francis and declaring an emergency. An ordinance ratifying and approving the starting vacation provided to Craig Francis and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt the emergency clause. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes. Move to adopt the ordinance.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, next we have an ordinance raising the city fee for cutting noxious weeds and removing litter.
An ordinance raising the city of Greenville's fees for its services rendered in cutting and destroying noxious weeds or removing litter pursuant to the authority granted by section 731.51 to 731.53, inclusive of the Ohio Revised Code. This ordinance raises the city of Greenville's fee from $150 to $200 for the services rendered in cutting and destroying noxious weeds and removing litter pursuant to ORC 731.51 to 731.53.
We'll suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Been moved by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
An ordinance raising the city of Greenville's fee for its services rendered in cutting and destroying noxious weeds or removing litter pursuant to the authority granted by sections 731.51 to 731.53, inclusive of the Ohio Revised Code. An ordinance raising the city of Greenville's fee for its services rendered in cutting and destroying noxious weeds or removing litter pursuant to authority granted by section 731.51 to 731.53, inclusive of the Ohio Revised Code.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
Is that enough?
So that covers our cost by a lot, absolutely.
You got like 4 guys, a truck, and lawnmowers, weed eaters, lawnmowers.
Right, that's an hour. It covers our cost. Obviously, we don't want to be in the business of mowing people's yards. It's supposed to sting a little bit. And that $150 has been since I think like '04, something like that.
That's why I'm asking, is it enough?
We're gonna find out, but we think so, yes.
You want it to deter people.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
People that live out of town that don't take care of their properties, and I know there's one on Schweitzer Street that people don't live around here, and you guys have to go mow that thing all the time. And
Right.
$200 is expensive. I'll pay $40.
they do it once a month or every other month or something like that. So
My question for it would be like, is there a size of yard or is it just a flat rate?
So it's hourly,
Oh, so it's
but
just general.
there's a minimum. If it takes
Okay.
30 minutes, it's $200, but if it goes over, then it's another $200.
Ah, okay.
It's another 200?
So it's really an hourly rate, but
Right.
we don't charge by
Right.
30 minutes or,
go into a yard, you run over something that's been out there for a while and bend the blade.
it happens.
Take a bearing out. $200 don't cover a bearing on a lawnmower.
Right.
Any other questions? So the motion to accept it, right? Okay, call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
All right, moving on to number 7, we have an ordinance amending certain rates, an ordinance related to water, sewer fees, and utility billing.
An ordinance amending certain rates and ordinances relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing. This ordinance amends the bulk water rate to $20 for a new bulk water account setup, $20 for a new key fob, and $20 per 1,000 gallons of water with a 1,000 gallon minimum, effective September 1st, 2023. This ordinance also allows hydrant meter and backflow preventers to be rented from the city with a $3,500 refundable deposit once returned in the same condition.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
An ordinance amending certain rates and ordinances relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing. An ordinance amending certain rates and ordinances relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing.
Motion to adopt.
Moved by, by Mr. Godwin to adopt. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay, next, we have a resolution authorizing Safe Service Director enter into the contract with Lake County Sewer for manhole rehabilitation or rehabilitation.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co., Inc. for the rendering of manhole rehabilitation. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer, Inc. for the rendering of manhole rehabilitation in 2023.
Motion to the rules. Go ahead.
Give this resolution second, third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Schmidt to suspend the rules of this resolution, second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co. Inc. for the rendering of manhole rehabilitation. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co. Inc. for the rendering of manhole rehabilitation.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to number 9, a resolution authorizing Safety Service Director enter into contract with Lake County Sewer for chimney sealing.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Inc. for the rendering of chimney sealing. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Inc. for the rendering of chimney sealing in 2023.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this resolution second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co. Inc. for the rendering of chimney sealing. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co. Inc. for the rendering of chimney sealing.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion?
Are these guys like the only ones around that do it? Because I've seen them in other towns too.
Yeah, they do,
Pretty much.
pretty much. There are others, but
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay, and final, number 10, a resolution authorizing disposal of no longer needed personal property.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property. This resolution authorizes the disposition of no longer needed Motorola MTR 3000 base station from the fire department on govdeals.com.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules of this resolution, second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay. New business. We have a handicap parking space request.
To Greenville City Council, I have reviewed the application for special parking for handicapped persons submitted by Paul Fellers of 215 Wayne Avenue, Apartment A, Greenville, Ohio. I have determined the requirements have been met and request that a handicap parking only sign be erected in front of 215 Wayne Avenue. Sincerely, Chief Roberts.
So we don't need to do anything with that, right? Just. We need a blessing on that?
I think we do a motion, so on the liquor license, we don't do anything. I think the requirements have been met, you still vote to approve the signage.
Okay, I'll take a motion, accept that or deny it.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to what?
Accept.
To accept it. Discussion? Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
All right, moving on, under old business, we have a tabled zoning amendment recommendations. Does anyone want to do anything with that? All right, moving on, council representing outside committee, the CIC, which is Whitaker.
Yeah, we had our last meeting Wednesday, July the 26th. A couple things came up. One thing that council had been involved in a few years ago was the CIC grant loan opportunities for homeowners to take advantage of a grant, some grant money, matching grant money for projects that have to do with aesthetics right? And we're going to re-examine that again. And nothing really has come of using those funds. In fact, I think council has to set aside funds for availability for those grants to be matched by homeowners upon request. Nobody's really requested any of those, right?
Correct. There are no funds, like there are no funds available. My understanding is it was set up and council would review them and potentially fund the grant. Since its inception, the entire board and the way that you had to apply for the grant is no longer with the city or in the positions that they were in when it was originally set up. So that's why he said we need to look at it again and see if it's something that council and the CIC wants to pursue and kind of put back out there.
It's something that I think could help out with, code enforcement problems, maybe. If people want to do something for themselves and help out the situation with a project on their home that might come under code enforcement. So I think sidewalks were under that too, weren't they?
I believe so, yes.
So that might be of some help. We'll just have to take a good look at that again and see if that's something we can reinstitute. I believe there's one vacant board seat still there. 18 seats total on the CIC. So with that, some projects were discussed. The Dunkin' Donuts was put off until 2024. Is that correct?
They're actually starting.
They're starting now?
Yep.
So, all right. Good news for people who keep asking about Dunkin' Donuts. How's the Take 5 car wash project coming?
That one is on hold.
On hold? Okay. We heard about the 502 water main project and the design phase, from what you had said for the water tower since they came up, in the industrial park, 18-month project beginning in 2025. That's still hold?
For the water tower?
For the water tower, yeah.
Yes.
Great. So with that, those are items that were brought up at the last CIC meeting. And the next one is Wednesday, September 27th, downstairs in the classroom at 1 p.m. With that, I pass.
Can I ask the question of the spec building out there that is getting built? How's the progress going on that?
I thought good, but maybe not.
Good thing or bad thing?
I seen it advertised,
Yeah,
so they must be getting close.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know when I was on the CIC, that was one of the things they talked about at every meeting was a spec building a spec building in the city of Greenville. And trying to get one at the industrial park and
It's coming on pretty good, yeah.
Yeah,
Like that side door done?
yes.
Closed, not closed.
I don't know if it's, I think, because it was part of a grant through the state of Ohio, and you're not allowed to have an end user as part of the grant. I know it's advertised. I don't know at what point they're allowed to fill it through the grant. I'm not sure on that one.
Filled to get the grant.
No, can't have it filled.
Okay.
It's a spec building. You're not allowed to have an end user when you build it. That was part of the grant process.
Build it on a hope and a wish.
So it's got to be all complete, and then.
I don't know in what part of that process that they're allowed to advertise and fill it. I just know in the beginning, when you go after those grant funds, you can't have an end user for it. That was part of the push to get spec buildings throughout the state of Ohio.
Okay, any other questions for CIC? All right, communications.
We received the monthly report of July from the Transit Department and the monthly reports of August from the Income Tax Department and Street Department.
All right, call of council.
Schmidt,
Pass.
Whitaker,
I'll pass tonight.
Brown,
Just say thanks to everybody for coming, and just be on the lookout. This week we'll be likely busier in town. Followed up with this weekend, Eldora, the World 100 Camping started this past Sunday, so hopefully we can get through the week with no more accidents. I do know Sunday evening, one of the racers was hit up at 127 and 47, so somebody blew the stop sign.
When's the actual race?
So the racing camper party is Wednesday. They start racing Thursday, Friday, and then the actual World 100 is Saturday.
Yes.
Ely,
Pass.
Godwin,
I'm gonna pass.
Norris,
Well, thanks to all the department heads for coming tonight. Thanks for the public input. I attended downtown Friday. We had a ribbon cutting downtown at 6 o'clock, and it was nice, a little bit slow, just due to the fact I think everybody was gone for the weekend, but pretty good crowd overall uptown. And then I attended Saturday, the red, white, and blue, got to watch some of the horseshoe events. Had a little bit of an issue finding parking space, but at least a horseshoe attendees got to in on some of the music that went on, because the Shannon Clark started, and then they had a country band after that started at probably 7:30 or something like that, and food trailer, so it was a good time and well attended out there. And with that, I'll pass.
Rogers,
Yes, we had street superintendent has a birthday, and so happy birthday to you. And with that, I pass.
I'm just, maybe we should all sing happy birthday.
Go ahead.
That would be first. You need a motion for that? Or?
Matt, I didn't know it was your birthday, so happy birthday. Yeah, so one of my favorite downtown events is coming this weekend, it's Car Show. So if you haven't been there, it's a great event. There's probably the whole downtown's blocked off, all the side streets. It's a really neat event, so try to attend. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adjourn. Call the roll.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Evening.